Essentially, yep.
But something that came up with Bert Kreischer and Chris Distefano talking on their podcast this week, they were on Two Bears, One Cave. And this really just struck me. So I really wanted to share this with you and the Hot Breathiverse and really just kind of discuss this topic for a few minutes just on the relevance of balancing family life and life of being a comedian on the road and seeing someone like Chris Distefano, who just dropped a Netflix special, by the way, selling out theaters, by the way, and yet this is where he is at in his career after grinding for years and years and years to get to this point. This is where he is now.
Of everything has been for me so far is like, I've missed every single one of my daughter's swim meets. And I'm like, fuck, like, yeah, I just made a lot of money. And I'm like, but I've been watching my daughter's life on like a phone. And it's a little like, wow, this is crazy. This is happening. It's a little like, what am I doing? Like, she's never going to be 6 again, and I miss like tons of her life. What the price?
Yeah. So,
yeah. And then that clip goes on for like a while, and then Bert kind of gets in on it as well. So like it becomes it. My favorite part is that it's two men showing vulnerability about a very tough topic that doesn't get talked about a lot, especially not in comedy, right? But I think it's the reality of what do you do for your dreams? Like, what do you do to make your this thing that you've always wanted to do happen, and also realizing, okay, this is the sacrifice to get there, and this is what I've given up, but it's also a nice little like gut check. Was this worth it? Like, was this thing that I've given up worth it to make it happen to be where I want to be today?
Yeah, and it really gave me some pause to like, well, what does the future of my career look like? Like, do I want to be at a place like where Chris is right now, where it's like, oh, he quote made it, and I already feel like I made it, but like, he's hitting that next tax bracket of comedy now, and he's like, oh my, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think as you get older, and as you like are grinding it out in any kind of business or any kind of like pursuit that you have, like, you recognize that all these other things are still happening. You still got a family, you still got a wife, you still got a marriage, you still got to be a dad. All these things still happen. Just because you're killing it, at a show in Florida for the weekend, you're still a dad. You know what I mean? Like, you're still, and so I mean, I think I've recognized I try not to miss those moments, because those moments are way more important for me than the glitz and glamour of comedy. But have I missed a moment where I was just like, hey, I've missed a birthday. I wasn't happy about it
For
because I had a
comedy?
show. Yeah, I've missed a birthday for comedy because I wasn't happy about it, for a show. And I wasn't, yeah, it was not fun. I mean, I'm missing my wife's birthday tomorrow to do comedy. Yeah.
Dang,
You know what I mean?
fam.
But like, also prepped. I was like, yo, I'm doing this. Like, it was like months in advance. And so like, yeah, I don't feel great about it, but it's also understanding from the other side. Like, oh, I appreciate it. We're going to try to, it's a day, but also let's make sure that we at least connect and have a good time beforehand, to make sure it doesn't feel like completely that I'm out of the picture. So yeah, I mean, I think I don't know any comedian that hasn't had to have made that kind of sacrifice for this lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm always like, I'm more mindful than ever of that balance, and also of like what is worth doing and what isn't.
For
And
sure.
and when I am with family, it's like I'm 100% there.
For
Like,
sure.
even just like if the amount of time isn't as much as I want it to be, but I can make that quality time. I can make the quality of the time better, which can make up for that lack of, like, the amount of time can make up for the quality of time. So I'm 100% there. And I think something we've talked about before as married comedians is like that transparency around just checking in with your spouse. I'm about to be gone for 4 weekends in a row. Is this cool? Like, how do you feel about this? Or like, this is kind of the direction my career is headed, but here's why I'm doing certain things. Like keeping them a part of your career. And
part of the journey. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then, like, it's that open, honest communication. Because I remember there was a time when I was doing like a lot of open mics. I was just like, babe, I need to get up 4 to 5 times a week, and and it was affecting everything. And then got sat down, and I was like, yo, and she was like, "I'm gonna need you to cut this time down because you are not here." And I was like, my bad. Because, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I want to be here. Like, and I want to do the things that I want to do. So, yeah. And so then we just adjusted the schedule and be like, all right, I'm going to do 2 nights. But on those 2 nights, I'm out pretty much all night. I'm trying to do 2 to 3 mics a night for every night, rather than trying to do like 5 nights a week. And I also am very conscious and know that I'm not I'm at 7 years now. I'm not a 7-year comedian that's been going up 7 nights a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know those hours haven't been put in that way. So the hours that I have put in, I'm exactly where I need to be. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go out 7 nights a week, but I go out 2 nights a week. And that is where my comedy is.
And like we said, quality of time with family, you make sure that the quality of time you spend with your comedy is also of higher quality. So you are doing if you do go out, you're doing as many shows as possible. You're making the most of those opportunities. You're preparing for your set. You're doing the best you can on your set. You're networking. You're really moving your career forward. So quality of time with family, but then also balancing that, making sure you make the most of the time you do when you're working on your comedy. And it'll just add up to make a bigger difference.
Facts. Yep. But yeah, I think it's a constant struggle, though. I think it's one of those things that there's never going to be like an answer on. I mean, and women deal with this all the time. Comics deal with this all the time. People who have dreams will always be dealing with, how do I balance my dream versus my reality of having responsibility?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the definition of life.
Yeah. It's all about balance, my friends.
All about balance, baby. Balance, baby.